Hello and welcome back to class. After discussing the role of agriculture in technology, we now begin to explore the lands of the civilized people after they established how they are supposed to live. So marunong na sila mag-farm, meron na silang pagkain. Now what's next? Probably you've been living in a very civilized world since you were born. I think all of us are, because civilizations started to rise the very ancient times. I think as early as, let me look at my notes first. I'm not sure of the year. Around 4,000 to 3,000 BCE, doon nag-start ang civilizations. And we would like to know more about it. Ano ba yung components or the key components to say that an area is civilized? Maraming mga evidences that historians are already laid out for us on how we can determine that this type of area or this tribe or itong samahan ng mga taong ito ay civilized. And I want to pose a question: are you civilized enough? And we want to get rid of the confusion of being civilized and civilization itself. So, sa panahon ngayon, pag sinabing hindi ka sibilisado, ibig sabihin hindi ka marunong ng mga bagay-bagay na dapat normally ay alam mo kung paano makipagsalamuha sa mga tao. And it's different from being in a civilization or establishing a civilization. So for this presentation, we will talk about the following: the definition of a civilization, the key components, and the development and fall of civilizations. And the next video will be about the civilizations, the first 4 civilizations that was well established on Earth. So yun yung may mga records. We don't know for sure if that's the very first civilization, but the records, that's what our archaeologists and historians says. So we'll stick to that. Okay, so a bulk of this presentation is from National Geographic. I will be linking the article in this presentation as well para sa inyong further reading. Alright? So, to begin with, how do we define civilization? Well, civilization is a large and a complex culture na kung saan malaking samahan ng mga tao ang nandoon. It's a huge number of beings living with common elements, or they follow as a common set of rules. So parang tayo ngayon, yung Filipinos, ganyan. So noon meron ding mga taong ganyan, and if they follow a common elements or rules in their region or in their area, they are considered a civilization. Pero hindi lang yung number yung tinitignan. So what are the other things or the key components kapag sinabi mong may isang civilization? So these are the key components. First, we have advanced cities, and we talked about this on our video doon sa agriculture, na meron kang advanced cities or nagkakaroon ka ng city kapag meron kang surplus sa pagkain, and therefore meron ka ng sinusunod or meron ka ng government, ganyan. So you have an advanced city, and inside this advanced cities, you have a very organized central government. Therefore, meron ka ng either a king, or kung ano pa na leader na namumuno sa city na yon. And also, you have other leaders that comprises the government of the certain civilization. So hindi pwedeng isa lang, laging meron na kayong gobyerno na sinusundan. Also, you follow a complex religion. Ang ibig sabihin nito, meron na kayong rituals, meron na kayong beliefs. Anong gagawin pag may bago ipanganak? Anong gagawin pag merong sakit? Anong gagawin kapag mamamatay? So you have these rituals in one, and you follow them strictly. Of course, kahit naman ngayon, we strictly follow some rituals of our own, depende sa ating religion or sa kung anong pinaniniwalaan mo as a person. So, kapag civilized ka na noong panahon or merong civilization, you follow this complex religion. Also, meron na tayong job specialization, kagaya nung related ito doon sa sinabi natin sa agriculture, na kapag marami ka ng food surplus, marami ka ng ibang jobs or ibang trabaho na pwedeng gawin. This is because people stop hunting and gathering, kasi kung wala tayong pagkain or wala pa silang pagkain, lahat ng manpower nila will be focused on that. Pero dahil meron silang food surplus, meron na silang mga bagay na pwedeng gawin. Kasi nga, well, you could be bored kung wala kang gagawin. So, and apparently, people don't want to do that. So, kailangan nila ng gagawin. And they have more jobs or job specialization. Also, this develop social classes. Part na ng social class yung namumuno sa central government, and also other things. So, papasok na dito yung mga laborers mo, papasok na din dito yung mga slaves, mga ganyan. So, meron ng hierarchy sa city, and one of the most important things para masabi na may civilization ay a system of writing. Walang civilization ata na walang system of writing or hindi marunong magsulat. So, that's one of the main things that a civilization has. Also, prominently, nakita na yung mga earlier civilizations are very fond of art and architecture. Number one, kasi yung architecture nila also serves as their defense. And after that, nang na-establish nila yung defense nila, they also want to a way nila na para ipakita na mas advanced ang kanilang cities, ay mas maganda ang kanilang architecture. And of course, it developed into art. Marami na rin silang artisans or people that specialize in different types of art. And yung artisans na yon ay part din ng social class. So, medyo mas mataas yung level nila sa social class nila kapag artisan ka. And of course, you have, this is very important, your public works. Your public works consists of building your towers for defense, and also para mag-build ng mga roads, which is very important para sa transportation. And yung transportation nila nag-lead sa marami pang mga bagay like trading and also conquering other lands. So, that's important. So, ito yung main components ng inyong civilization. Apparently, hindi daw lahat ng civilizations na nakita ay meron ito. So, parang kapag tinitignan mo yung civilization, para ka daw kailangan na timitingin ng symptoms. So, kung meron dito, ito yung 8 na main components. If meron ka daw 6 or 4 nito, ibig sabihin, it's a civilization. You only need 4 or 6 symptoms. So, yon, ganun daw yung sinasabi ng mga historians. But, apparently, dun sa mga advanced civilizations, all of these things are present in them. Alright? So, let's talk about the development. Of course, yung mga unang civilizations are just starting, therefore, hindi pa ganun ka-advanced yung kanilang mga systems. And paano ba nag-lead sa development ng mga civilizations up to what we are right now? So, civilizations expand through trade, conflict, and exploration. Okay. Sabi natin kanina yung related doon sa public works, trade. Trade is very important at isa yon sa mga nagsusustain ng isang civilization. Kasi maraming bagay ang pwedeng ibigay ng trade sa'yo. Isa sa pinakamalaking examples ay ang trade na, pakikipag-trade ng mga Chino or mga Inchik sa atin or sa iba't ibang lugar. Na apparently, malaking part din ng history ng Philippines ay ang trades natin with the Chinese. ang China din ang isa sa may pinakaunang civilizations, and they really conquered a lot of lands, and also they have a lot of things in them kasi nga nakikipag-trade sila. And in trading, marami kang makikitang potentials na pwede mong kunin or mga lugar na pwede ninyong sakupin because of that. Kasi nakikita nyo how rich other areas are. And of course, yung trade din, isang pinaka malaking indication din na marami silang food surplus. Kasi nakita doon sa mga yung mga trades na ginagawa nila is between food and other types of things. Kunyari, i-exchange niya yung palay niya sa isang type ng bowl or ceramic, sa mga ganong type. Therefore, makikita nyo na meron ng iba-ibang mga bagay silang nagagawa, and this is primarily because of technology and the rise of agriculture as well. Also, ano ba yung conflict? Conflict tells us yung mga differences dun sa communities, also yung mga problems sa loob ng isang government. And usually, these conflicts, kung pakikinggan nyo sa una, is very negative. But then, these conflicts really develops them and teaches them kung ano ba yung tama at ano ba yung better way to make things. And therefore, it develops the civilization and the society. So, these are the things that they found na, wait lang, hindi to tama. So, they started to question other people, and in turn, kung na-resolve nila yung conflict na yon, it develops into their development as a civilization. And of course, exploration and innovation, these things are innate to us. So makikita ninyo that in the earliest of times, hindi lang ngayon tayo nag-innovate at nag-explore. Apparently, kung ano ang na-achieve natin ngayon as humans is a product of exploration and innovation of the people before. At yung focus nila noon, of course, is kung ano meron sila. Therefore, dun sa farming, kung paano nila binibuild yung roads, kung paano sila nagbibuild ng kung ano-anong mga bagay. Isa sa malaking system nito ay yung pag-farm nila ng na parang pinapalit-palit nila yung crops na itinatanim nila sa isang area, or meron silang mga plots na hindi tinataniman for some time para mag-recover yung soil. So that's one of their innovations at that time na apparently it's very good and we're still using it today. Okay, and now we go to the fall of civilizations. What causes civilizations to fall? Apparently, on the next videos or in the next lessons, you will learn na maraming civilizations ang hindi nagtagumpay or hindi siya na-sustain hanggang sa ngayon, and na-overturn siya or napalitan siya ng ibang civilization. So, ano ba yung mga possible na mga mangyari para mapalitan or mawala ang isang civilization? Many civilizations have flourished and then failed or fallen apart. There are many reasons for this, but many historians point to three patterns in the fall of civilization: internal change, external pressure, and environmental collapse. Yung internal change could be a lot of things. So, pwede daw na population shift, or pwedeng yung infrastructure ay nag-breakdown or nasira, and this could be caused by diseases or extreme weather or other environmental factors na pwedeng mangyari doon sa kanilang infrastructure. Kasi syempre kapag yung city nila ay bumagsak, it could be the fall of a certain civilization because it's not easy to rebuild that again. So kahit saan naman, kapag hindi pa ganun ka-established ang isang lugar, and they need more people to do again the things that they have started, it can cause to people to migrate to other lands and settle there. So, kung wala ka din namang tao na magtatrabaho, therefore, your civilization could eventually fall. Next is external pressure. External pressure could be invasions, or kapag sinakop sila ng ibang lugar, or hindi na protektahan yung borders nila. Apparently, ganun yung pinaka cause na mangyari pag external pressure. So, this means pressures from outside their civilization. So, pwedeng yung mga tao noon tao sa isang civilization ay nag-iba yung pananaw, and they started not to believe in their own civilizations, moved out, pero ang pinaka nito is warfare talaga at pananakop, na at this time, ito na nag-start na nagsispread out yung mga ibang tao and gathering many lands as they can. So, that's also a possibility. And of course, environmental collapse, kagaya nung related doon sa internal change na pwedeng mangyari sa isang area. This is very imminent kasi hindi pa naman marunong ang mga tao noon kung paano mag-forecast ng bagyo and what to do if there are certain environmental phenomena that may arrive. So, hindi pa ganun ka-advance ang kanilang technology para maintindihan at ma-prevent yung mga bagay na ganun. So, that can cause a collapse or a fall into a certain civilization. Alright? So, here are your references and further readings. I suggest that you read these 2 articles, yung 6 characteristics of civilization and key components of civilization. Yung isa from a certain website, and yung isa ay from National Geographic Society. Okay? I think that's it for this lesson. Next lesson will be about the early civilizations. Kung ano-ano ba yon, and ano din yung mga characteristics nila. So, that's all. I appreciate your questions. Please post them under this video doon sa material na ipopost ko along with this one. Maraming salamat, and I'll see you on the next video.